Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a moment? Like you're standing at a crossroads and you have no idea which way to go? That moment when you're unsure of yourself, of where you're going and how to get there. Well, I've been there, and I still find myself there sometimes. But I've come to learn something important along the way. Being stuck isn't a dead end, it's an invitation to discover something deeper about yourself.
So sometimes when I'm at crossroads, the best thing I can do is shake things up a little. So instead of staying in my usual space, I decided to get out of my head and my usual environment. It's a way to keep myself busy, avoid spiraling, and bring some fresh energy into the mix. Good morning. I'm getting ready to leave the house right now. Today I am helping my husband at renovating some apartment, and his work buddy is off for holidays. So I'm jumping in and helping out. So I'm excited to spend the whole day with my husband. I hope he is too. It's quite early. I think it's 6:30. I'm not really sure. We just had some tea and coffee and we're heading out. Going home. Tired, dirty. Mm.
Last year, around this time, I was stuck. Stuck in my own thoughts, my own habits, my own life story. The December holidays were always a time of reflection for me, but last year it was different. I wasn't just reflecting, I was unraveling. Anger, self doubt, and years of buried emotions bubbled to the surface. It wasn't comfortable, and it certainly wasn't easy. But what I realized in that moment was that I was on the edge of something bigger. I was facing a crossroads, and instead of running from it, I decided to lean into it. Sometimes we need to sit with the discomfort to experience growth. When we feel stuck, it's not a sign that we're failing, it's often a sign that change is coming. But to reach that change, we need to sit with the discomfort long enough to process and understand it. I didn't know what direction my life was going in, but I knew that creativity, whether it was making jewelry, filming videos, or writing, was going to be at the core of whatever came next. But here's the thing about life's crossroads. You don't always get the clarity you need instantly. It comes slowly, piece by piece. You have to trust that the pieces will fit together even if you don't see the whole picture right now. After all, self-discovery isn't an overnight process. It's messy, uncomfortable, and non-linear. It takes time, patience, and a willingness to be uncertain. The clarity we seek often comes after we've taken action, not before.
Hey. Lately, I've been actively trying not to spiral, to stop procrastinating, basically doing everything opposite what my mind and body want to do. I've been just pushing myself to do anything. I push through even if it's just cleaning the dishes or reorganizing the bathroom cabinet like I'm doing now. It's not much, but it's something, and something is always better than nothing. When procrastination hits and it's getting harder and harder to avoid it, I'm I'm getting my ass out the door. Now, I don't want to. It's freezing outside and I'd rather end me. But I know one thing, that moving and getting some oxygen into the bloodstream and getting that heart rate up a little bit, it makes any negativity seem insignificant. So I'm going.
One of the biggest decisions I made last year was to take my YouTube channel more seriously. I had been dabbling in it for a year, posting here and there, not really committing to anything. But I knew that if I wanted to get unstuck, I had to take action. So I did. And let me tell you, taking that leap was one of the most rewarding decisions I've ever made.
I think we've all been conditioned to think that uncertainty is something to avoid, that it's a failure to not have everything figured out. But what if we reframed it? What if uncertainty wasn't a threat, but a gift? It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's also where transformation happens. The not knowing is where the magic lies. When you let go of the need for control, you open yourself up to possibilities you never imagined.
Action is often the antidote to feeling stuck. Even when the full picture isn't clear, taking that first step is powerful. The key is to move forward, even when you feel uncertain. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to start.
It's a gorgeous day. It's really nice. It's sunny. It's a little bit windy, cold, but it's nice for running.
So after the holidays, I feel like it's finally time to dive back into the studio. But before, of course, I can do anything, ah, I need to get this space back in shape. It's a disaster right now. I have clothes that I have to donate, and the bench has seen the better days. So let's quickly clean this mess.
Stepping into the club now. I know you notice me. Wanna be your medal. First prize, although you cheat. Let's turn the lights up. Turn it out, turn it out. You and me like a face up. Building up, building up. Your head's in the blur 'cause of me. You're right where I want you to be.
The real magic happened when I stayed consistent. I didn't see the rewards overnight. I didn't hit 1,000 subscribers immediately. But when I looked back after a year, I realized I had made significant progress. Consistency allowed me to keep going even on the days when it felt like nothing was happening. Progress is often invisible in the short term, but through consistency, small, seemingly insignificant actions, great things are built. Trust the process even when you don't see immediate results. Success isn't a single leap, it's the accumulation of small, steady steps. Through all of this, I learned something incredibly valuable. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's strength. The more I allowed myself to be vulnerable, whether in therapy or in front of the camera, the more I grew. I learned to embrace the uncomfortable, the messy, and the imperfect parts of myself. And that's when I started to seek real clarity.
Gorgeous Montana agate, and I'm gonna pair it with 2 orange tourmalines. I'm making earrings. Throughout this process, I've had to face a lot of uncomfortable truths. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear that I might never make it. I used to think that these fears were a sign of weakness, but now I understand that vulnerability is not a flaw, it's a strength. It's a space where true connection happens with ourselves and others.
Vulnerability is a gateway to growth. It's okay not to have all the answers. When we allow ourselves to be open, we give others permission to do the same, and we create deeper connections with ourselves and the world around us. Like most people, I have my fair share of fears. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough. But I also realized something important. Fear is a part of the process. Fear means you're stepping outside of your comfort zone. It means you're growing. And instead of running from it, I decided to lean into it. Fear is not something to avoid, it's something to embrace. It's a natural part of the journey. When we push through our fears, we break the chains that keep us stuck and discover new possibilities on the other side.
So usually the hardest part is to start, taking that first step. I'm guilty of waiting for the perfect moment,
or the perfect plan or even mindset. But the truth is that clarity often comes with action. Even if I'm unsure, I just start. Even if the end result is unclear, the right moment won't come anyway. So the perfect time to start is always now.
So, I guess what I want to say is this. If you're at crossroads right now, if you feel stuck, don't be afraid of that feeling. It doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're on the verge of something new. Embrace the uncertainty, trust the process, and take action. You may not see the full picture right now, but trust me, the pieces will start to fall into place. And one day, you'll look back and realize that this was the moment that changed everything. Life's crossroads are opportunities, not obstacles. Embrace uncertainty, take action, and have faith that your path will reveal itself. Your next big breakthrough could be just around the corner.